Everyone. My name is Sushant. Today we all are gathered here for a GD on a topic our school killing the creativity. So yeah, schools are the reason for killing the creativity. We all know that creativity is as important as learning. We should treat them as equally. But what happened nowadays in school? Like if a student have a doubt and he wants to ask the student, a teacher, and he's the only one who didn't understand, and when he asks the question to the teacher, then teacher, instead of explaining him, he yells on him and mock him in front of the whole class and said to them that you are the only one who didn't understand. Everyone got it. So because of that fear of mocking and embarrassment, he never uh, courage to ask the question again. So because of that fear, the student always kept in a boundaries of his creativity. He can't able to break that boundary. So yeah, schools are the reason for that. Now I would like to invite other people to say something.
Good morning, everyone. Uh, in my opinion, school is killing creativity. One of them reason is to more focus on the exams. School oftenly more pressurize the student to get good marks in exam. So student started memorizing the things instead of understanding and enjoying.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Badal Kumar. I agree with both of you. In our schools, there are lots of teachers who are not much educated. They are in their graduation or just past their 12th. So they started teaching, but they don't have any experience. They teaches the students only the syllabus according to the syllabus. They can't provide them the practical knowledge and the which what the things which can be taught only by the experience. So it is the main reason of the killing the creativity. And in schools they only focus on the syllabus, and they do not focus on the curriculum activities like sports, singing, and they hide their talents. So students are less creative nowadays.
And partially agree with all, but all teachers are not same as like that they are only have graduation. In many of the schools they only take the MSc masters teachers, which have more knowledge about their subjects. In schools there is also creative some students, like many of the students in their school time they achieve the national levels achievements, like in taekwondos, in singing, in dancing. Many of the students goes to RDC parade in school time, so you cannot say that all schools is neglect the creativity of the students, but some schools is also help to gaining them. Most of the KVs schools, armies schools is in these schools there is so much extracurricular activities happen which help the students to improve their skills, knowledge, and many of the other things. In an army school they give you the NCC up to the 6th class, and after the army school mostly students was becoming an officer in an army. So you cannot say that they are decrease their creativity or any of the other things. There is a science olympiad in schools which help to increase the creativity of students. There is a music olympiads in many schools. In SVM there is always a competition in the schools to achieve more knowledges to the students. Like SVM has 11,000 schools. They having the competition between all of them. They try to make the Olympics games like school Olympics games and science, math. There is many of the other competitions happening in there.
Good morning to all. My name is Nyukti Sharma. As he said, there are many schemes and many Olympiads which are introduced nowadays. So many of the schools have implemented, but as you said, not all schools are same. So as you said, not all schools are same. Then how we can say कि in our private schools they are encouraging our students to take part in those competitions or Olympiads.
As you seen, the Andrews is a private school, and many of the APS and our Conrads, they all are private schools. And the Moon Olympic held in Agra is one of the biggest competition in Agra, which makes the student participated in it and improve their creativity. This is the reason.
So, okay, these are the parts of our activity, Olympiads and all. Okay, what if the student or a child wants to become a dancer or singer? Is there any profession about that particular profession, particular thing?
If a student wants to be a dancer or singer, all schools makes an annual day for their schools. In annual day, they teaches us. Buy. They are encourage us. They take the teachers to teach him dance and singing. And in SVM, in my school, there is a singing period is always happening in one class always. So there is
There
many
are
schools
so
which
many
have.
schools in which students are studying,
Have you
and
ever
they
heard
also
about
want,
annual days in schools?
in the name of that particular annual day or Independence Day or
So student dance on that day and singing on that day. This is
so
also
the
help to
practice,
improve the
the
creativity.
practice only held on those days, na, not particular period, not a particular period had been given, na.
In school times, after in school times, many of the schools is also giving him a lecture or yes, in there many schools like Andrews, and they have their own dancing and singing teachers which help students to improve their creativity or their
but
skills in their
uh,
dance or
but
singing.
we are talking about the schools. We can see everywhere. We are living in Pidibagya and all the area, rural area. But there are lots of schools. There focus only. The schools only focus on the subjective teaching and study. They do not focus on the like singing, all the talents. I'm talking about not. Do not talk about the Andrews and all the
Okay,
schools.
if you are talking about this local area, the local area is also contain a school Stephens.
Yeah.
And many of the students of Stephens is getting their national levels achievements. One of the student in my colony got a national level certificate in volleyball in only 10th class. So is their achievement is not good for that. This school help him to get the national level certificate. School help to improve their skills. So you cannot say that all schools or some. I know that some schools like the small schools which was just opening in a room type areas, they have not such a capability to improve the skills. But the great schools or bigger schools have the uh, power or they have the knowledge to improve our creativity of the schools.
Actually, my main question is sports activities are done in every school. I know that. On the I think sports day has been held in everybody's school. Even small primary schools has done those things. But should I stop? Okay. So, main thing is that I asked about a question that a particular child wants to become a dancer or singer. Does the school support that particular profession, singing or dancing? Does that school teaches the particular subject?
In China or in another countries, there is many schools which are only teach students in a simple or a single skills. As you seen in many of the schools in China we are talking about, they only teaches dance and singing. Many of the students only participated in that schools or colleges. So it's improve their skills in singing, dancing. So you cannot say that school is not. There is many schools, students are taking coachings for dancing and singing. So it is also type of some little bit schools
So
like
they
that.
have to take coachings now. Our schools or our education system is not focusing on the core or curriculum activities like dancing and singing. You are saying that they have to take coachings or take practicing from other institutes. They have to go other places to learn those activities.
So thank you for giving me this. I am Prajwal Pathak, and I have my views that you all gave us good reasons. And one reason that you said, sir, that schools are providing dance class, singing classes, but it's not that true. Yeah, see, in India, in our curriculum, there are many subjects and language, French, English, and many other art subjects, and this arts. These physical subjects, but what happens, they don't focus on this subject because they think it is minor subjects, that subjects that are need to industry. that they help in their job, then they focus emphasize that subjects like math, science, that thing. That they don't emphasize, they is just they think that it is just for entertainment purposes. They are just entertainment purpose. They can't help us in the future. But that's the problem, that's the mentality. In our schools also there are sports what periods they held sometimes. But what happens, some maths teacher replace on that what period, and the sports period will not happen. So that's mostly happens. As well as if you talk about dance classes, there are dance and teachers also, but why they hired just for some functions only, not for regular classes. Yeah, up now you're talking about, yeah, some of them take them regular classes, but their schools are private schools and high school that charge high fee and that things. And that things, and we know that talent is for everyone. It can be for lower background caste and lower. So what the person or student should do if he want to take classes, if he is poor, then what he will do? That's the problem in. And if you talk about government school, it is worse than private schools also. They are just, government take funds every year or every period of time, but the fund will not don't utilize that much. And there are some class, I mean, now you talk about Delhi, there are government schools, they are focusing. But yeah, they are focusing, that's a good initiative. But it should not but we can't say that because of 1 and 2 it is good. It should be more, then will it will change. That's a problem. And what we are taught in class, we are educated to become a good worker rather than a good critical thinker. That's the problem. So anyone else?
So yeah, Prajwal said well that schools are just scratching the money from parents and filling their bellies. Yeah, and I don't think so. It's a school's fault, but it's also parents' fault who think that if we send our children or kid to the good school and the school have a good infrastructure, then we get a good education. But it's not like that. Education is so far. School didn't the education is so far. School didn't have a good school didn't have a good teachers to who can teach the students. And okay. And most of the time, what happen if a student is good in a particular subject, that teacher didn't appreciate him. He discourage him because that student is still out of the league of the toppers. So because of that reason, schools are creating the creativity, killing the creativity of the students. And another reason is that, as we all know, that how in nowadays how much burden of a studies a student carries. So like at the same time he goes to school, after school he goes to the tuition, after tuition he have to complete the assignment and school work, then tuition work. And in that kind of busy schedule, if a student forgot to do the homework of a particular subject and next day he went to go to the school, then teacher yells on him. Then how can you forget that? Did you forget to sleep? Did you forget to eat? Then how can you forget to do the homework? Then because of that fear, students are not breaking the boundaries of their creativity. Yeah, they also get depressed. So, and now anybody wants to say?
I wanna say some other points also. Like, see, in our India, now people say that they are not emphasizing on these subjects. See, the harsh truth is in India there is not so much opportunities to that. See, every person born artist, but to remain that artist when he grow up, this is the problem. This is a problem. Picasso said that thing. And see, in India there is no opportunity. Every person born talent have some talent, but that talent fade up when when we grow up. Why? Because of lack of opportunities. And what we taught, because you don't study this thing, then you will can't find, then you can't find job in future, and you can't have a stable life. They don't think, they have mentality from the beginning. And see, our parents are not that educated. They just want us to have a stable independent life, so we got independent. So we what so we उनको क्या So he can support financially us. They are not educated. Some of the parents are not educated mostly, so they want their children to study the same thing, to be in a race that everyone is going on like a rat trap. This is, everyone is after the money. So this is not a true thing. We have a life, we have to enjoy our things that we have. And if we talk about the talent our children has, they are not emphasizing that talent, and it the talent fades up. And because of lack of opportunities, and see, every person, if we talk about, if a person have dancing skills, sketching skills, he will not be an artist because of some, because of this. If person, if see, if parents support, but due to what happened, if parents supports and they don't, if India has don't have that opportunity, then what he will or she will do, he have to or she have to do the same thing. That's why people also go abroad. That's the main cause of brain drain also. या लाइक शर्मा जी का लड़का इतना लाया और तू ये नहीं कर रहा है, तू मतलब बेरोजगार घूम रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, डांस क्लब खोला है। भाई ये सब मेंटेलिटी है, मतलब दिस ऑल आर द मेंटेलिटी ऑफ द society. So yeah.
Bro, if the family was suffering from the low income, then he wants that his child is become a stable income, so he cannot survive like that they survive. That's why they want that his child grading grades of good marks and have a stable job, have a government job.
If India has opportunity, then why parents don't?
India have lots of opportunity of many of the jobs, but not all are getting same jobs. If all are dancers, singers, scientists, then who will do the smallest works?
We are not talking about all students. Some of them have interest in particular things like dancing and singing. Where should they go? They should also study maths and science.
Yes, if we are not if we are not graduates or not intermediate passed, then not only for they are not speaking in English, also because they are not getting a education at that time. If they are only dancers and singers, if you are only dancers and singers, then you cannot make a money, mint money, or that you cannot fulfill your family's needs if you are only a singer and dancers.
That are not from that great background or qualifications.
Have you heard about Ravan?
There are
Is
also
all
so many talents that don't have even 10 pass also.
is all students have a same type of qualities?
What?
Is all
But we are
is
talking
all
about the-
students have a same type of qualities? Some are thinking that they have the good qualities of dancing and singing, but not at that level that we needs or the society needs.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah,
That should
it can be
changed.
improved. It can be improved by the colleges if college schools providing the extracurricular activities and
Nourish that things.
If the teacher of MS Dhoni do not says to him to come in the cricket, to leave the football, they are not becoming a good cricketer at that time. His teacher sees him a best that he can catch a ball easily, so he treated him to the cricket. So teacher is the main reason for the cricketer to make him a cricketer. You are saying that schools is not giving a skills, so he is the teacher.
a teacher teaches in the school.
Out of the box because of to follow his passion, his talent.
If schools are teaching that much
Who
good,
who gave him a government job? His cricket gave him a
okay.
government job. His teachers make him to play the cricket, and he is now the one of the best cricketer in India.
That's the need of
So
that everyone do.
who teaches us? The school. It is the school who teaches.
Not all schools are teaching nowadays.
If schools
If
are
the
teaching
teacher
that
was
much
not
good,
saying that to play a cricket, he was a footballer or he is not a best footballer in India, because the football is not like in India that it has a huge amount of क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Scope in India.
it
So
is not
the
only
teachers.
time, na. Nowadays, this is not happening. Na.
Nowadays, there is many of the students in 9th class, 10th class, 8th class, getting many much works in the science fields. They having in a 8th or 9th class, students makes a
In a
model
science.
okay.
in models.
If schools are teaching that much good, then why we are not getting another Newton and another Einstein?
Who says that we are not
Give
getting?
the example of another Einstein and another Newton
Uh,
nowadays.
if nowadays I am not remembering it, but in previous there are Ramanujan, and many of the Indians are got more have the.
Nowadays, we are talking about
We are talking about the schools.
Nowadays,
Recent education system does not support these things.
no, actually, I'm not having such type of knowledge that nowadays who is getting that, but there is not a skills of dancing or singing. There is many type of skills in India. You are only discuss about dancing and singing.
We are also talking about sketching. Okay, which school support
Is only
drawing?
three types of skills in India.
Which school support arts? Singing, arts. Which school supports arts?
Arts school supporting arts skills. There is many of the arts schools in India.
He or
If
she
all
have to take admission then in that particular
yes,
art school.
so if all students are teaching arts, they are not good in. So why we are spending money in the arts? If schools having taking a money to the huge amount, they have to carry the teachers in that schools. If you have less money, less payable fees, then you are not carry the most teachers of treating him. If you have only the 100 or 1,000 rupees fees on a school, then you carry only 8 or 6 teachers, because you have to pay the fees to the teachers also. So you cannot borrow the 20 or 30 teachers for another next level skills like singing teachers, different or arts teacher and playing teachers. There is lots of skills in India. So we cannot borrow all the teachers in the same school. That's why there is different schools in different areas or different skills. Like arts. Sir, at that time, many of the playgroup schools. How schools or how we? So in playground schools, teachers and schools have allowed the students to playing drawings or teaching them to language or English, Hindi, all type of math and subjects if they are teaching. They also help him. They also help him to how to write, how to draw, how to paint. A simple way that you are not failing the colors in outside the drawing. So the school teach the students how to grow up in PG schools.
So in playgroup or what? In which playgroup? The teacher teaches those things. But when after 5 or 6 age, it should be very compulsory for every student that they should know A, B, C, D, chota a, bada a, and student got stuck in these things, stuck in particular things that he or she should know that. What is A B C D and what is chota, bada, and everybody should know about that. Those painting and sketching, then dancing, singing, where these activities go in that age.
Regularly held in schools up to the 8th class.
Not regularly.
See, everyone do the same thing. Everyone is artist, as I mentioned. Everyone must have do the herd and houses. Everyone has the same thing, but it faded up when we go up to the higher level, because up to the higher level the subjects came that are important for the job also, not for creativity. It fade up, it is up to that level. So it should be maintained that as I mentioned, everyone is born artist, but the problem is to remain that artist. This is the problem.
Okay, we are discussing here dancing and singing. If I want to ask that if a student want to be a scientist in a class of 12th, so there is a more focus on practicals, okay, but there is a focusing on theories, or theories more they are focusing practical files. If a exam have 100 marks, then 80 for exam and 20 for practical. And in practical, student has to make a file instead of doing practical and practical things. They are just giving 1 2 examples, and that's it.
No, in many of the schools they are providing the
I am
students
saying,
our
or
practicals.
there is a very big percent in CBSE schools. So they are just focusing on theories and have made make practical files like something like thick, and physics file, chemistry file. They are just written there on practical file. They are just copying the from front manual and pasted there also. But that's it. There is, this is practical.
As I am teaching in many of the schools, or I also learn in my school that in my school they teach us how to do the practicals. They shows us how to do the practical, and then they teach us how to write a practical in a copy. So I am not agree with your words that all the students was just copying the practicals. Many of the doing practicals in the schools, and then they are writing in the practicals notebooks, then they become the scientist. If someone is just copying, they are not becoming a scientist. As you see that the NASA has 40% of scientists in India.
We are we have ISRO, not we have NASA. We have ISRO, not have NASA.
I'm talking about that the biggest satellite organization, NASA has 40% of India's to be the scientist in NASA's.
Indian scientists.
Yes. So you
So
cannot
why
say that
they go NASA? Why not ISRO?
because the
Lack of opportunities.
no, not a lack of opportunity, it is lack of money.
So why go abroad? Lack of money.
Because they are getting more money at
So that's a
that
problem
place.
as a man.
So we are talking about skills, not money.
It all comes in opportunity.
There is many of the CEOs of many other industries is also in Indians. If you are seeing a list, there is approx 40 or 45 members of many of the other industries. CEO is Indian. If you are searching on Google, you can find that more than 40 plus more than 40 men are the CEO of the different industries is Indians. So skills is not going to be less in India.
Okay.
He has more skilled person.
Okay, in starting, you are talking about CEOs, Sundar Pichai, Santar Nadal, and other also. But if you take the graduation or other higher degree, they all uh, completed their masters or other things from US or Germany or other countries also. So they are not just on the basis of IIT. They have gone. Sundar Pichai also have. He has completed from IIT Kharagpur, BTech, from chemical, and they have gone to abroad. From there, he does masters, and then he goes to Google.
If your basic is not good, then how can you?
So that's why I'm saying.
So basic is becoming good in India, na? That's why they went to the abroad and taking other knowledges. If basic was not good at that time, you cannot increase your knowledge at the master's level.
Okay, you can also say this. Your point is you should say.
So he's saying that India's basic is very good. Then why the advance is not also good? Then why person is goes to abroad for pursuing their higher education? And this is because India's teaching the rote learning, not a creative learning. That's why people go. And
This is
India's
not a
India's
reason of that things.
and didn't people didn't get the uh, society here, right society for their education level. That's why you can add something.
And a person, if person do the creative thing, and society another thing will stop him.
Pupils went to abroad for their education is only the main purpose is that the education system in India has a more amount their fees is too high in India than the abroad, as many of the MBB going to the degree of MBBS in outside the country, they have less amount to be paid for living and staying, and the school's amount was less than the India's. You have to do the MBBS. One of in colleague, there was a student clearing 12th in 3 attempts, and now he is doing MBBS in Russia.
But living in foreign country is expensive than studying.
But they spend only 8 lakhs in Russia to complete their MBBS, or in India you have to be contribute up to the 10 or 12 lakhs to do your MBBS. So in India the education is mm, running too much high amount, expenses is too much high than the abroad.
So, so what are the solution for that? That school should arrange the extra classes for those students who are very curious about questions, who are very critical question. And school, in many of the school, सर इसको क्या बोलते हैं? देखा गया it yeah, in many schools it has been observed that they are library is not present there. So if a student wants to learn something, then school should have a library there.
Is it a conclusion?
Yeah.
So we have discussed many points about these things, and I think it should be an improvement in our country or in our education system where we can add these activities, or where we can encourage our students to do these activities where he or she wants to go or pursue those things. So there is a need of an improvement in our system or schools.
So in our schools, there are a very different thing like uh, students do not get opportunities to show their talent. Like uh, they do not learn how to speak in front of all, and it should be improved. Like if a there are lots of students in class, they get affair in front of all, and they do not try to speak in all, so it should be changed.
In according to the new education policy, India has improved that the students of in schools or in colleges, they have to be learn a one another subject at the time of their BSc or BCom or their school times. They will add some different subject like food safety, nutrition, and physical and other musics and dancing subjects to their according to the years, that if they are in first year they are learning a different subject with their basic course, and in the second year they are learning another subject, so it is also improve the India to help to improve their skills to the students.
See, what can be done? See, nowadays India is changing, and our education policy and our education pattern also has been changed. There also included some other subjects and things that will encourage students from the beginning and from the end. So that is a good thing. And you can see that nowadays there are many we got to know many what sports persons now are recognized, they are having gold medals. So India is changing. That is a little an initiative, but it is a good, it is a need. It will what it will get rid of that thing also. So that's a discussion.